Friday. Today we have a wonderful artist, Francesco Fontana, and his artwork is beautiful. I think I saw you maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Francesco. Was it
Yeah,
that long? I think so.
I can count them, but it's always good to see you anyway.
It's always good to see you as well. So I think you'll really love his artwork and how he leads you through what he does. So with that, I thought we were going to see some of Francesco's artwork.
Yes, yes, because he's got new artworks to share too. And of course, we want our friends to connect, follow Francesco on his socials.
Absolutely.
There we go. All right, meet our guest artist for the day, Francesco Fontana. And if you have not followed Francesco on Instagram, he's very active there. Also on Facebook. And he's got this beautiful website. If you want to check out his workshops and articles, just look for francescofontana.com. And the next slides are some of the recent artworks of Francesco. We start with this piece from Francesco. We'll be happy to hear a line or two for these works.
Yeah, this works. I mean, let me tell you, the first two, one, the buffalo, and the other one, I know mine. But anyway, this one this is a plein air painting. Actually, it doesn't maybe look like that in a way, but it is, and it's part of the process that I'm going through, researching new ways of represent nature without necessarily using the local colors and natural colors, and so experimenting in a way new combinations and try to sort of create a different mood, a different perspective in a way. So that's just a crossroad around my neighborhood. Nothing special, but maybe it becomes something intriguing. I mean, at least for me. So, you're talking about. I mean, okay, you want to move forward. Oh, this one. Well, as you may be aware of, I do switch very often from figure to landscape or urbanscape, cityscapes. So this is part of the figure collection, and that was a place in Belgium where people actually dance the tango on weekends. So I love the kind of the dress of this lady, because it remind me, to be honest, it remind me probably my mother in the 60s. So it's a very summer, colorful and floral dress, and in addition to the motion that people would just do in the dance. And this went to the National Watercolor Society last year at the international exhibition. Then it sold when it was back home, and that's it. This is a more recent one. Well, of course, you might recognize Brooklyn Bridge, but again, it might be it's kind of iconic, but it's actually part of another trip that I did to New York, and that's just again trying to make up a little bit my palette, not really necessarily reflecting the real thing, and probably trying to catch a different point of view, perspective, from Brooklyn to Manhattan. So, and the trees and that was the idea, to focus on the color um, combinations of it. Yeah. Yeah, this is a close, smaller one, but it's more part of the studies, like when you try to pull out something that you don't necessarily know But what I like about this and what I tried to achieve was to do a lot of negative work, and also work on a dominant color, just working around a very warm dominant temperature, and try to work on shades of that. Basically, red should be some cadmium red, plus imperial purple and some sienna, just around the warm range of pigments, and see what happens again. Okay, that's another story. I mean, it's part of the storytelling about people working down the street. Most of my figures recently are people that make their living, down the street, inventing some business or doing sort of, some kind of art. Yeah, like the one you put on the flyer on the ad. There was a writer that I met in Paris, and was selling poems on commission. And this guy was in Berlin, where I like to spend time. And yeah, and it's pretty funny because the puppet looks pretty much like himself. And also, well, the trick here was kind of making the background way more abstract, definitely abstract compared to the original scene. Yeah. Okay, again, some people working on the street, and making some kind of very sort of say alternative business. This lady in Times Square was just picking cans and plastic bottles that they will resell them, and eventually. So yeah, and I was pretty intrigued by this little story, because people are, most tourists, tourists hanging around the Times Square for fun, and of course, but at the same time, there are people maybe at a corner or something, just thinking, working hard, that attracts me in some way, as the storytelling part of my painting. Yeah. And that the challenge was actually doing the transparency of the plastic, the plastic bags, and that was pretty challenging, is a technically, and yeah, especially the left side. This is part of my portrait research, sort of. It's kind of one model that I had in a workshop, and then I love the hair, the ginger hair, and the shirt, which is very kind of 70s and a little psychedelic design. I don't know. This is the reason why I just decided to paint her, and the green eyes, beautiful. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, this is the subject for today demo. It's pretty simple, because of course we don't have much time, and so I just picked something, I suppose, pretty simple. And yeah, the black and white thing is because um, uh, um, I like to do actually make up my colors and just switch from the original one. That, as I said before, I find it much more interesting and challenging as well, to just try to start from my palette, decide a kind of a mother color or dominant temperature and atmosphere, and so to convert the picture into a black and white thing. Print it's easier in a way, because yeah, you are kind of diverted from the original color, and you can put any color there, as long as you reflect the shapes, and above all the values, the tonal values. So I could paint the darks, not necessarily the color that is in the original picture, but if people can just follow either way, what I paint or the original reference photo.
Those were awesome.
All right, so yeah.
So Francesca, anytime you would like to start is fine. And can people ask
Oh.
you questions as you paint?
Yeah, sure, definitely, definitely. Yeah, sure. Okay, okay. So I'm ready. Just let me put some color here. I just decide to let me see if this is correct, or maybe should move a little bit. Okay. Okay.
Up a little bit.
What?
Up. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, sure. And okay, I decided to use this colors, for instance. You know, you can see green, but it's not the green. This green, which is actually it's an ultramarine turquoise. Turquoise. It's more like I would use it like a modifier rather than the original green, which is actually much warmer in the original photograph. And so a bunch of cool colors, pale blue, and then tron blue, and then well, it starts to be a little bit warmer with the imperial purple, which I like very much, and transparent pearl orange, both at the the color that I tend to use mostly lately. So yeah, oh yeah, let me excuse me. But anyway, some purple and short arm. And yellow. And turquoise here. So here is the drawing. I don't know if you see it pretty well. Okay, just finalize the drawing.
Francesco, what is that black sponge you're using?
It's just a sponge.
Just a sponge. No particular brand?
Yeah, I think this one was, oh man, maybe Borciani and Bonazzi.
Borciani, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, you're very welcome. Just do something here. This. And then we got some. So let's get started. I just do a watch. I would use maybe purple as a, excuse me, oops, purple as a key color, like yeah. Yeah, if I'm too quiet, too focused on the painting, you ask questions because sometimes I get kind of carried away, not really.
There's a question in the chat already. Do you
Okay.
always work from fresh paint or do you ever dry it down in a palette?
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. No, I actually used the typical travel palette like this or other similar ones, but just wanted to both show you the selection that I made. Sometimes, yeah, when I do make a range of colors for that specific for every given specific painting. The second thing is that I find it easier for the camera and stuff like that. So yeah. Nope. Well, this is just a wash, just to give some ground to the painting. But as I said, the key color should be purple. So I'm turning to blue too early. But anyway. All right, so. Okay, if you, for those who are interested, this is an arch paper, fine grain, just my favorite. I just used to work on the back of it. This is a little smoother in the front, and that's it. Okay, maybe make it a little less tonight. Okay, I'm going to use the air dryer, so I don't know about the sound. You take care of that. So yeah, just increasing values and just maybe change brush a bit this, and then yeah, still. I know that my process when I do when I make yeah, well, when I do demos, it's a little kind of weird in a way because I think you see the final intention comes out at the end most of the time. So people sometimes wonder what am I doing? But anyway, you trust me. Oops. So for now, I just keep it cool, the coolest possible.
You're using Arches paper?
Yes,
Awesome. And that's the cold press 300 GSM?
yes, exactly, yeah.
Awesome. And is that brush you're using, is that one of those Princeton Neptune brushes?
Exactly, positive. Yeah, it's not
Wonderful.
marked. But anyway, it's a Princeton Neptune. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, thank you.
The flat ones, yeah, I like to work with flat paint brushes. There's something wrong here. And also, I like to just do a few places, not too many, but some. So let's go this way. Okay, this one will go with the brush. Too greenish. Too greenish.
Francesco, I have a question again. Sorry, I'm here with the questions today.
Yeah,
How do you make a decision about color? Because, you know, the reference photo has quite different colors than what you're doing. I'd love to hear your process for how you decide which colors to choose.
yeah, I understand that. The as I said, you know, I'm actually looking at the black and white thing. So, for instance, I'm here, and this part of this portion of the tree here is dark. To me, is dark. I know by memory that it's kind of pink, but what I see now is just dark. And so, according to what I have in this palette, that's why I limited my you know, my selection, my color selection here. I pick, you know, the darkest one, but actually the dark, most, you know, all of them are pretty dark. So that's one, so that's one thing. The other thing is that I keep the temperature, and I say I want to keep the most of it cool, because I just decide like that. But there are paintings like I don't know, for instance, yeah, we saw one of those where the dominant is kind of is warm. It's kind of very warm. If I have anything here. Yeah, say for instance, this one. See, it's completely different atmosphere. But again, this scene actually wasn't just this color. I just limited the palettes and the sideboard temperature. So I just stick with temperature I want and the values.
That's a
And
perfect explanation. That makes a lot of sense. So rather than focusing on color, you're focusing on value and then whatever temperature you've decided.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
and that the rest of it, you know, whatever remains left as a decision making is just intuitive. It's just a feeling, because you need that too.
Love it. Raffaele is over in Facebook and he said an almost classic Francesco's restricted palette revisited.
Thank you, Raffaele. You're a friend. You're a great buddy. Yeah. So yeah, I see here is pretty dark. So also the mind process is like okay, this part is dark, but I have this kind of bluey, you know, area. So do I want to kind of warm it up a little bit, or just cool it down, for instance? So warm it up, I just use violet because it's not the warmest, but I will add the warmest color at the end. So I'm gonna use this one, which is the warmer in the next warmer one. Or maybe I want just to cool down a bit here. So next would be cooler, would be turquoise or of Dale, for instance, right? So I do also care about the transition. So I look at the previous color and just decide where to go next. You know, cooler, warmer, etc. Okay. Yeah. And here I have the door. But also another trick in this style is to not to finish every single element and portion, because maybe I want to next I want to add a different color here. So I don't want it, I don't want it to be flat. You know, and that happens either way, merging to a different shade, or just putting down the opposite color, but that comes later anyway. So So maybe. What's wrong with this?
Hi, Francesco. This is Rajat here from India. I love the process of your value addition, the way you are doing this thing. Spectacular.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're too good.
Most welcome.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of this decision making. I know that in a way it's kind of stressing because
Absolutely. I do agree with you.
and that's the reason why in a way I do sort of play like putting myself in trouble, putting myself on a challenge. I think that's the best process to the best way to grow, to learn, and to possibly find your own voice and style. You need to put yourself to keep to offer yourself a problem in order to find new ways to solve that problem. I know it can be complicated for some people. I understand some of the students maybe say, "Oh yeah, you're kind of crazy," sort of. Why don't we just paint and have fun? But that's my way to have fun. Okay. So this second layer is pretty okay, and
Francesco, I wonder if you could every now and then bring the painting near to the camera so we can see a close up.
sure. Hope so. So
Thank you.
okay. So now it's just kind of blocking.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, I will go with darks, one or two places, and I guess then I'll be done.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to some dark here. Yeah, the paper is still wet. I know maybe there's a bad reflection. I don't know this screen. So now I'm adding a little bit of orange that most of the time would just would neutralize a little bit the previous colors, but you also need gray so in painting, so I think it's good anyway.
Francesco, una domanda da Raffaele da Facebook. This palette choice look a little colder than usual. No quinacridone, no olive green.
Yes, but dear Rafa, we change. It's a change. As I said, you have this kind of essays, like it's very warm and even warmer than this, and then some other time I do stuff like cooler like this, or same subjects, but this is all played around the grays. So yeah, as I said, but it's right because I know he knows that I used to go to work a lot with Queen Sienna, Queen Gold, and what else he mentioned? He said what?
Olive green.
An olive green. Okay. No, my olive time is gone. Yeah. However, it's right. There was a time I was for quite a while, I was pretty afraid of very cool colors. I wouldn't use kind of phthalo or even turquoise here. It's true that for a long time I was kind of scared about, you know, very cool colors. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to make it too complicated. Well, there's also some degree of abstraction in what I do, because that leaves you room for, you know, some invention and some.
Francesco, here we have a comment by Yuko. She says, I love the way you initially decide and limit yourself with only 5 colors, according to the value and temperature you want. I often use too many colors and get into a mess. I must try this method. Amazing tip. Grazie.
Yeah, thank you, Yuko. Love you. and yeah, and I'll tell you what, you know, most times I don't even go up to 5 colors. This is a lot already for me. I mean, for my habit, because but basically, yeah, I sometimes decide to work around just one single color and just make changes in shades of that color by mixing a little bit to any other. But that's a different, it's, you know, that would, I would call it an open palette. This is a limited palette. So.
And Andy Rose says, can you talk about the qualities you like in these particular colors, like transparency, granulation, intensity?
Yeah, I love transparency. I do love granulations when I see them, when I see it in other artists' paintings. But for some reason, I do not tend to use those colors. My selection is pretty natural. I mean, it's pretty, you know, spontaneous in a way. And I realize that most of my colors are transparent or semi-transparent. Can't tell you why, but yeah, but I love that. Because maybe, probably, yeah, the reason is that I like to work by glasses in a modern way, sort of not very traditional, like many places, and you know, but I do love that.
Yeah, and I noticed, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I noticed that you sometimes do like negative painting. Is that so?
I do love that, you know, in a part that you're never wrong, Angela.
Yeah. No, come on. Yeah, I love that particular part because that's something I struggle with and I love it.
Negative painting, yeah,
Yeah.
I know it can be challenging. And indeed, I do have to discipline myself in a way to do that. But I know that is rewarding. This is rewarding when you have this kind of stuff. Oh,
exactly.
That's great. That's great. But it is a lot of work. Also, maybe even the small one. See the tree, for instance, it's made up with just working on the background. So yeah, I love that.
To do negative painting, you need to do a lot of layers, don't you?
Not necessarily many layers. You need to plan ahead. It's more kind of a planning. So you could do just maybe 2 layers, but you need to know which one comes first. Of course, the lighter one comes first, and also draw on the painting. That's something that I do. Maybe I show you what I do sometimes. I mean, most of the times actually. Yes. So.
Dion is asking to see the last artwork you showed in the blue.
I'm sorry, you want to see that?
Dion would like to see the last, yeah, I think
This
that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a little negative. This one is negative. This here, the arrow. This, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Little passion. So, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay. No, excuse me. I need to dry again a little bit. Okay, so this is the second layer. Do you want to see it closer? Okay, I know it's very cool. It's kind of
Yes, thank you. That was great.
it's very cool. But anyway, so this is something I want to do now. Yep. So negative painting is kind of this. See if we have time to do that kind of work.
We still have 22 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I was asking. Yeah, okay. Oh, oh, look at this. Here's one. Oh, okay. So, okay.
Francesco, what is the grade of the pencil?
This is a 4B. 4B by Creta Color Fine Art Graphite. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I use this most of the time. This is very soft because it's what do you say, clay sort of. And this is graphite, and I like this one too. This is the Faber Castell. But these are a little bit harder because this is still 4B, but this one is a little harder. This one is softer. So I use it on the painted parts of of the work. That the Krita one, the Krita color works better. Okay, so let me take this.
Francesco, people are asking if the phthalo blue on your palette, is that the red shade or the green shade?
Green shade.
Perfect, thank you. Our friend Yuko has another question. She said there are many turquoise like phthalo turquoise, phthalo blue turquoise, and ultramarine turquoise, which you are using. Just checked the DS color map and noticed you prefer low staining colors.
Yeah, that's right. Sure. Yeah, this is a ultramarine turquoise. Yeah.
Do you think that that was something intentional or kind of just happened?
No, it just happened.
That's what I figured. Thanks.
I'm honest. I just look at the color and see if I like it, and I don't really ask myself too many questions about, maybe it's not nice to say that, but I mean, that's
Well, like you said before, it's kind of just a feeling, right?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. As I said, there are colors that I never used before because I was kind of intimidated by them. So, no point in just understanding too much about how they are made. I know there are people that, Rafaela is one of those that really study the colors, the pigment and the stuff. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I mean, it's like a musician. Not all musicians go too deep into how their instrument is made, but they might be great players anyway. So yeah.
Francesco Terrelin is asking, why do you go back into the paint to draw with the pencil? As a guidelines or accents to the painting?
I'm sorry, say it again, excuse me.
Like, why do you go back to draw with the pencil? Is it a guidelines or accents to the painting?
Well, no, actually, I try to do the very least of drawing at the beginning because I love to either add add details or fractions of the main shapes later on. Listen to what the painting is telling me in a way. So if I see this area filled with this color, I may I definitely kind of follow in a way the patches and the way the paints goes on paper. So I mean, just I try to feel inspired by what I did previously and by the painted area, the painted brushwork as well. So
I was interested in the way that your brush strokes mimic the pencil strokes when you put the pencil on.
the brush mimics the pencil or the reverse?
Well, you did the pencil first, but then the brush was imitating the exact same rotational movements and so forth of the pencil.
Yeah, it might be, yeah, because the thing is that I have tell you something, sometimes I get into a kind of a rhythm, and so give myself a rhythm, say
Rhythm is a good explanation of what I saw.
Yeah, suppose I do it here, like 1, 2, 3, and go to any direction, like 1, 2, 3. So change color, load more color, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That kind of sort of makes a flow, it's kind of energy that goes into the painting. And also not trying to follow too much the drawing in itself. It's how can I say? Try to get away from the idea that I'm painting some object, that I have to describe that object. So I want to see this piece now like a playground. I know that this form then looks like a tree, but at this very moment when I'm doing it, I like to sort of interpret it like it's just a playground. Like it's just and also some of the lines here are just random, sort of just intuitive, not really mimic exactly the branches or the leaves or
There's a conversation happening in the chat. Joe asked you in particular what your opinion is. Is it possible to learn technique like you can learn an instrument, or do you really have to have a gift to paint watercolor?
Oh man, that's a question. No, you only need to have the desire to do it. Desire is key to anything, to any learning process. As long as you desire that, you really desire it, you face all the challenges and the struggles and then the technical and also technicality is it's just part of it, part of the whole thing. So you need to just immerse yourself into that and just go. Don't ask yourself whether you have talent or not. Yeah.
That's such a great answer. I think Bob Ross was asked the same question once, and his answer was just about the same as yours. Good answer.
So the two, okay, unless there are two people thinking. Agree on this point.
Francesco, you have 10 minutes.
2 minutes?
10.
Oh, okay.
Plenty
Okay.
of time. Plenty of time.
I'll make it. Yeah. So, un po' di scuro ancora qui. E poi mettiamo un po' di roba, un po' di calore qua. No? Ops. Ho detto una parolaccia. Allora.
I have kind of a question. I like the way you've set up your paints and how you're using them. I think that's very smart. Do you throw them all away after, or how do you save them?
Just keep it in the studio. Just
Yeah, I mean, but they harden up, they kind of harden up. And they're expensive to buy, so you don't want to always, maybe you just use them up, I guess, quicker than I do.
yeah, of course I will use them again sometime. Maybe not tomorrow, but I mean any time, But this is paint. One of the great thing about watercolor is that it dries out and then it stays there. You store it's there in the storage in the studio and you can use it anytime.
Yeah.
Even after years.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as the creamy ones, but yes, I know what you're saying. Thank you.
Well, even if they dry, you can just wet them and revive them. Just use water and revive them.
Yeah, for me, I find that even if they seem dry, I wet them and they come alive immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend in a workshop that activated her watercolors and she hadn't used them in 50 years. No
Oh,
problem.
That's a big thing.
It's amazing to see Francesco add the warmth to the image. It changes it so much. It's subtle, but effective. I'm learning so much from this addition of warmth right at the end.
Yeah, it's everything. I think is you need to have a counterpoint. So if it's mostly cool, you want to have something warmer, just a little portion to make it, however, to keep the dominant, to keep the cool, the dominant part of it. So, but splitting colors like this, it's one of the ways you can get vibrancy in a painting. It's pretty subtle in the sense that you really need to, what do you say, to be careful of the balance. That's one of the things. You may exaggerate something, too cold, too warm, too messy, whatever. But, so that's why this process needs a little time, actually. Is there more time than the usual, the usual alla prima thing, in order to have those little subtleties in place that need some thinking, some testing, because now I'm working on this yellow blue, and I want to put it somewhere, but I wanted to sort of be in balance with the rest of the next color. So something with this purple. I want to put some purple. It's like the ingredients of a recipe, but where to put them? How much to put them?
I can't wait to watch the video 3 more times.
Well, thanks to you. Trusting.
It's almost as though now we can see how cool it is because the warmth is there. It strengthens the coolness of it by having the counterbalance warmth.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, and it's kind of made up via some kind of dotting, sort of dots and stuff like that. But you can also make glazes, like I don't know, sort of. I might want to lay a little bit of this color here, okay, and I gotta make sure that it doesn't become too warm. So again, it's kind of, we need to balance. And of course, if you're going fast, okay, you can do it, but maybe.
Incredible.
You can go with this kind of approach that I have. Ideally, you can go on and on, because the kind of details that I want to, that I came to add, they're not actually describing something specific. So you can reach that spectrum, that, you know, harmony for a long time, as long as you are kind of, you know, careful in, you know, adding what it really.
Francesco, we have almost 150 people in the room, and
Okay.
everyone is commenting how much they love watching you and what a magic, these last touches are.
Oh, thank you so much. How many you said?
145 here, plus few in Facebook. But we are 5 minutes over the time now. Are you closely finishing?
Oh yeah, anytime. I mean, I'm ready to finish, because I know I could go on. I told you I could go on.
Could you
Overnight.
bring it near the camera, maybe?
Yes, just a
See
little.
it close by.
Yeah. So little, oh, torches. Perfect. All right.
Ah, wow. How beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, there's so much can be done, but you know, this is a kind of a play that I'm enjoying lately. So I wanted to show.
Francesco, this is brilliant. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Francesco. Thank you, Francesco. I'm looking
Thank
from
you.
Los Angeles.
Who's that?
Could we see the original picture also?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. That's a
The
good
original
question. That's a good question. I got it here anyway.
Could you post this painting in Instagram and tag us?
So this is yeah, this is the original thing. And yeah, and I find that, you know, no matter it's beautiful or not, but it's good to try to, you know, think out of the sort of box and try to manipulate in a way what we see in order to try to find our own expression. And you know, we may succeed sometimes, sometimes we fail, but anyway, it's we have to be a little, I mean, I need to be more bolder and courageous, I would say, and yeah, push it a little bit. So that's what
Francesco, we would love you to post this in Instagram and tag us, and so we can share it.
Yeah, sure. You wanted to do it now? You mean, or because
No,
No.
in your own time, in your own time.
no, I wanted to try and just erase the pencil, and yeah, and I will definitely do it. Sure.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Francesco, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you,
Oh,
everybody,
Thank you,
for listening today.
Francesco.
I think you had, yeah, over 150 people. So really enjoyed what you did. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining
Grazie,
today.
Thank you.
Francesco.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Francesco. Thank you,
Anna
everyone.
tried
Thank
to
you.
paint
Thank
along.
you.
Ciao,
you.
Anna.
Fantastic, Anna Candela. Wonderful.
I enjoy. Okay.
Hey,
Thank
sure,
you.
sure. Yeah, so up to see you soon. Ciao.
So
You too.
special. Thank
Ciao.
you.
Oh.